In this video, we are going to do 3 questions from the chapter Surface Area Volume, class 9th. So let's begin with the first question. The first question says that the slant height and the base diameter of a conical dome is 25 meter and 14 meter. So let's say if I make the figure, I make the base first and going to place a cone over it. Let's say place a cone, and cone is, say, this is a cone. I'm going to place it over it. All right. So once we have this structure, what we can write down the information. So we can see the slant height. The slant height is what? This is its slant height, right? This part is slant height and it is mentioned as 25 meter. This is 25 meter here, and the base diameter, well, the diameter is 14. So we know that the radius is half the diameter. So half of 14 is what? 7 meter. Now what we have to get is the curved surface area. So we'll apply curved surface area. Well, why I said curved surface area? Because we have to paint this portion, and we know that we can't paint the base. They are not exposed. So we'll be finding its curved surface area. So curved surface area of cone is what? This is pi r L. Well, replacing pi with 22 over 7, the radius, which is 7 here, and the slant height as 25. Well, clearly 7 and 7 get cancelled, and this is 25 into 250, 550 meters square. But then what we have to find out is the cost. Find the cost of whitewashing at the rate of rupees 210 per meter square. This means what? It means for every 100 meter square, right? For 100 meters square, the cost is how much? The cost is 210. But then we have to find for 550 meters square. So using unitary method, you can see for 1 meter square, it's going to be the cost is 210 over 100, right? This is cost for 100 and this is for 1 meter. So what we have to get for 550 meters square, for 550 meters square. So we can say that the cost is going to be 210 over 100, that multiplied by 550. So it's very clear, like if you know the cost for 1 meter square, you can find for the other. I can see 1 and 1 0, and from here 1 and 1 0. So our final calculation is 550, sorry, 555, 55 into 21. So it's come 1155. Let me cross check it. Yeah, it's 1 1. So we'll say that rupees 1155 is the total cost incurred. Right, let's move to the next question. The next question, it says a joker's cap is in the form of a right circular cone of base radius 7 centimeter and height as 14 centimeter. So let's say if I make a cone here, and the joker's cone will have a base radius. So this being its base radius. So this is the base, right? Not the base radius. The base radius is what this, and this is, we can see that from the question, it is how much? The base radius is 7. So R is equal to 7. Further, I can see that the height is given. Well, you should understand that they are talking about this vertical height and not the slant height. So one more time, when they talk about the height, right? By default, it is the vertical height, that is h, and not the slant height. So I can say this h here is equal to 24 centimeter. Now check this again. What we have to find out is the material, right? The sheet needed. Find the area of the sheet needed to make 10 such caps. So clearly this is related to the curved surface area, right? And the curved surface area is this. Now, what do we know? That the curved surface area of a cone, curved surface area of a cone, the formula is pi r L. Now check here, we know the radius and we know the height, but we don't know the slant height. So we need to get the slant height. As you know that this angle is 90 degree, but it's gone. Okay, let me just push it again on one side. Okay, now let's come to this. This angle is 90 degree and we have a relation between this, that is L square is equal to R square plus H square. L is what we have to get. This is the slant height, that is L, and radius of the base is 7, so it's 7 square, and the vertical height is 24. Now we can continue finding it. L square 49 and 24 square is 576. So L square comes out to be 625, whose under root is 5. So L comes out to be 5, not 5, sorry, 25 is centimeter, right? It's centimeter. Now check, once we get the value of R and L, we can plug in this value. Pi I'm replacing by 22 upon 7, radius which was given 7, and the slant height as 25. You can figure out that here 7 and 7 get cancelled. Now we have 25 into 22. That is 550 centimeter square. And that is for one cone, right? Now we see that here we have to find out for how many cones. It is required for 10 such cone, right? We need to get for 10 such cones. So for 10 cones is going to be 550 multiplied by 10. That comes out to be 5500 centimeter square. So we say that this should be our final answer for this. Now in the third question, it says a bus stop is barricaded from the remaining part of the road by using 50 hollow cones made up of recycled cardboard. Okay, so there are 50 hollow cones. This is what we have to keep in mind. 50 hollow cones are there. Now further it says that each cone has a base diameter of 40 centimeter and height as 1 meter. So now the other information we should keep in mind that the diameter of the base is 40 centimeter and the height is 1 meter. Further it says if the outer side of each cones to be painted and the cost of painting is given, that is rupees 12 per meter square. That is for every 1 meter square we have to pay rupees 12. So what will be the cost of painting? We have to get the cost of painting. Now that means we have to find the curved surface area. Well, figure is not needed. Still, if I make it, that's okay. So I say that this is the shape of the cone. Wait. The shape of the cone. Let's once again make it. And we have a base. Say the base being this. Right. So what we know here, that is the radius. Well, radius, we see we have different units here. One is in meter and one is centimeter. Moreover, you can see that these some values are given in decimal. So it gives an idea that we should go for finding in meter. All right. So we can figure out from here that we will write the radius. Diameter is what? Let me write down the diameter. Diameter is 40 centimeter. Right. So that means radius is 20 centimeter. But as I said, we are looking for a single unit, that is meter. So I can write this as 0.2 meter. 20 centimeters same as 0.2 meter. And the height, well, the height here is what? The vertical height. We know this vertical height and is denoted by letter H in general is given as 1 meter. 1 meter. And as you said that we are going to find its curved surface area. So we'll be finding its curved surface area using the formula that is pi RL. So let's begin with the working. Now what we know, the curved surface area of cone formula is what? Pi RL. Now check here, we don't know the value of L here. So we should get it first. So what is the relation here? That is L square is equal to R square plus H square. L is what we have to get the radius. I can say 0.2 meters square. I should place a whole square. And then H, which is 1 here. So that is 1 square. So 2 square is 4, but it has one decimal place. So it's come out to be 0.04 plus 1 square is 1. So we got L square as how much? These are no more needed. Let's remove it. So we get L square as how much? 1.04. But then we have to get L, which is whole under root 1.04. Now you can see that we are given this value here. So we can, the approximate value is given. So I can say that L is 1.02 meter. That's in meter? Yes, in meter. Now check, we got the value of L. So we can straight away replace these values to get the curved surface area. Well, pi is what? Not, yeah, it's given 3.14. So we're going to take pi as 3.14. The radius is what? 0.2. And the slant height we just obtained as 1.02. But then what we can figure out that on multiplying, we can get the curved surface area. And how many cones are there? 50 cones. So I will not multiply. I will not simplify now. I'll say curved surface area of 50 such cones is going to be what? We just multiply 50 with these values. So while doing, I'll keep in mind that I can remove this decimal and write over 100. And so I can write 2 by 10. This is 102 by 100. Now check here. This is cancelled by 2 times, and 2 and 2 get cancelled. Now what is the last is the to get the cost, and we have to get the rate is given. Rate is this. So the total cost should come as what? This multiplied, which is rupees 12 multiplied by 314 into 102, and that divided by 1000. Yeah, it's 100 into 2000. Well, this involves calculation, and 314 multiplied by 12 and multiplied by 102, that comes out to be, well, this is in meter square, right? And it has 3 decimal place, so it's 3843336. That divided by 1000 will give you some decimal place, that is 3 decimal place. So we'll say it should come approximately 384.34 up to 2 decimal place. So that should be the cost in this case. Now we need to figure out that we had to find the cost of painting. Yeah, so we can say that this is our final answer. Where it's gone? Yeah, it is here. So this is our final answer.